I'm not against tariffs, but this is not a way to do tariffs. This is not a way to do policy. This just feels like 4 or 5 crazy guys in a room made this policy. Like, if we want to have, we can have a discussion about tax. It's the same as when I talk about taxing the rich. I'm not trying to be that crazy guy in the room making a whole policy. What I want is to have a societal discussion about a problem and come to a place about fixing it.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Walking the Blunt Blade. I am Oliver. It should be noted that I'm not a trader, nor am I an economist. I don't have stocks or play with them, nor should I be asked anything beyond basic, reasonable financial advice. What I have found, though, is this gentleman.
People were expecting Trump to target primarily countries which had high tariffs on the US, but instead they chose to target countries which had very high trade surpluses with the US, which meant targeting basically some of the poorest countries in the entire world, which is kind of insane, basically. The reason, take Cambodia, which is a very poor country with phenomenally high levels of poverty, which has, similarly to other countries like Bangladesh, basically built up an industry of sweatshops, extremely low wage, low working condition factories where people often working in pretty bad conditions make extremely cheap clothes to export to the United States. If you tax these countries, what you are doing is applying a very heavy tax on the goods produced by some of the poorest people in the world, who produce very cheap clothes to be consumed by the poorest people in your country, in a theoretical attempt to move the worst jobs in the world back to your country. It doesn't make really any sense. And
he's an economist, or was, and he is a trader. He is awesome. I love his channel. I believe his channel is called Gary's Economics.
Okay, so what happened after Donald Trump's mood board tried to explode Cambodia? Financial markets went totally insane. Stock markets started to sell off really, really aggressively. And the reason for this is obvious. You've got companies like Nike or like Apple that build their products, they build their products basically in poorer countries. Apple builds a lot of phones in China, but Nike and a lot of cheap clothing manufacturers build their clothes in Bangladesh or Cambodia or Vietnam. And suddenly the cost of an iPhone was going to nearly double in the US, or the cost of cheap clothes would be increasing by 50-60%.
He's made a long-standing prediction, which isn't hard to see, and I encourage everyone to check out his channel. If not, subscribe. But in regards to tariffs, I learnt a lot in this, and I'm going to leave a link in the description. So I've often said in times of war, when America starts war, or just lately with Trump and his tariffs, that we need to cease all trade with America as a world. I'm still kind of that opinion. Matter of fact, it's my idea, of course. I like my idea. It still doesn't make me an expert, though, and I have not the expertise to describe how tariffs work, but this guy does.
Spent all of their time working on the marketing campaign. Nobody actually figured out what to do with the fucking festival. So all of these people bought these tickets, they turned up, there was no fucking festival. It kind of feels like that, because Raising tariffs to cut income tax is fucking sexy comms. It's sexy fucking comms. Like, that sounds great, but you look at the policy, you're trying to, the results of the policy are to crush the poor in Cambodia, to crush the poor in America, to create a world war that you're going to lose. It's insane policy, but it's sexy comms. And I just feel like we're turning the whole world into Fire Festival, which is just like, I don't give a fuck, because this guy's only going to be president for 4 years. He just wants to have sexy comms.
And there's a reason for deficits which need much further investigation. So, trade deficits. So I've always said if Trump is going to threaten higher tariffs, then we should just, increase our tariffs. My preferred scenario still to this day is boycotting America in trade altogether. Understanding tariffs. If you want to understand tariffs, this guy is super cool. I encourage you all to watch his video. Good morning, everybody. Cheers.